Hi everyone, welcome to Focal Point. Now we are going to talk switch in the C programming language. Switch is something in which we are giving some integer values, and it can be integer value or some character value based on your requirement. So here we are using our integer values for the matching purposes. Here what we are going to do, we are taking some cases, and based on that we are executing our program. Okay, so what we have done here, we have taken a for loop in here and we have applied a switch case. So in the switch case, if our integer I is 0, then it will be incrementing I with 5. If integer is 1, then it will be incrementing our integer I with 3, and so on. And the default case is executed when there is no case found. Okay, so there are some conditions with default, and there are some conditions using this break. So based on that our output will come. So let's start. So when we are going to start our integer I is equals to 1, then this will be the initial condition in the for loop. This is the condition checking, and this is our incrementing or decrementing condition. So in the for loop, this line is executed for the first time and then it is not executed. Okay, after that it will check the condition, it is true, and then it is start executing our for loop. So what is the procedure for executing the for loop? We will be giving initial condition, and after that we will match our condition. If it is true, then it will enter into the for loop. Okay, so what will happening, our initial value of I is 1, then we have applied the switch case in the integer I, and now we are going inside the switch case. So now when we are going to match our cases, so our condition is match in here because I is equals to 1 in here. Okay, so when our case 1 is matched, our I will be altered and it will be incremented by 3, so updated value will be 4. And now what will be happening, as we have not given the break in here, so if the condition is matched, then all the cases including default, so all other cases will be executed as well. So this is also very important when our condition is matched and our break is not used. In that case, all the statements below that case will also be executed. Okay, and whenever a break is found, our switch case will be stop there. Okay, so what will be happening in here, it will execute case number 2 as well because the break is not used, so it will be updated to value 10. Okay, now again it will execute this because the break is not found in here as well, so updated value will be 14. So what will be printed in here? After that switch case will be completed and a value will be printed. So what is the value of I right now? That is 14. So 14 will be printed right now. Again it will go and increment this value. I will be incremented to 15, and now it will check the condition. If the condition is true, yes, condition is true, now it will again enter into the switch case. Now 0 is not matched, 1 is not matched, and 2 is not matched, so default value will be default condition will be executed. So now this value will be updated to, it will be incremented by 4, and that's why 19 is the updated value of I. So now what will be printed? 19 should be printed. And again it will go and change the value or increment the value by 1, and the updated value of I will be 20. Okay, and now it will check the condition is true, then again it will enter into the switch case, and default value will be executed because 0, 1, 2 will not be matched. Okay, so now updated value will be 24, so 24 should be printed. You can see here as well 24 is printed. And now what will be happening, it will increment our 24 to 25, and again it will check the condition is true, then again it will enter and update the value to 29, and that's why 29 will be printed. Okay, so again it will enter here and update this 29 to 30. Now our condition is false in here, and that's why it will come out of for loop and our program will be completed in here, and this should be the output. What should be the output? 14, 19, 24 and 29. 14, 19, 24 and 29. So this is the output of it. So you can check again. If you just run it again, there is no error, and when we print this, the output is 14, 19, 24 and 29. Okay, so there are some more conditions. So what are the basic conditions regarding default and break? So after every case, break is needed if we want to execute everything perfectly fine. So after every case, break is required, and that's why we need to use the break in here and here and here, and of course we need to apply semicolon in here. After every case, break is required, but after default, break is not necessary if default is the last line. So you can think why default should be the last line all the time, but that is not true. Default can be put at anywhere in between the cases, but if the default is used in between some cases, even then default will be executed perfectly fine, but after that break is necessarily required. So after every case, break is needed, but if the default is the last statement, then it's not required for the default case. Okay, but if the default is used in between, even then it will work perfectly fine, but in that case break is required. So what will be the problem is break is not used even if default case is used in between. So as I've already told you that if break was not used in here, so all the cases below it will also be executed. So I will show you that what will be the output in this case. Okay, so if I just run this, so it is executing for fine now, because we have used break in every case. So if I just use this default in somewhere in mid, even then the output should be same. Okay, but if this break is not used, then the output will be different. You can see now. So if default in between, then break is required. Okay, so these are the conditions for the default and break, and this is the switch case. Okay, so you can try this code by your own. So make sure that all the cases is used perfectly fine. Thank you so much.